The Giants are stinging after a 16-goal loss in the opening round, but the return of their inspirational captain, Joe Harton, has everyone excited here at Ken Rosewall Arena for a change in fortunes. But their first assignment of the season here at home doesn't get much tougher, taking on the defending premiers, looking to make it 2 from 2 to begin their title defence. What a match this shapes up here on Fox Netball. Kim Green alongside for the call. Kim, this is what Joe Harton loves, these kind of moments. Big match against the Fever, trying to inspire her side.
Yeah, she loves it, but also the team loves it, and I'm sure Julie Fitzgerald will be sitting there very, very excited to have her back. It takes a little bit of the workload off her and gives it all to Joey out on court.
And the West Coast Fever with that thrilling win over the Melbourne Vixens last week. 62-61 in the grand final rematch. They just keep rolling from last season. And
such composure from that team. You can see why they were the premiers last year. They just took their time to get that win over the Vixens, and I think, you know, this is a really physical game. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do out there.
So very close to the first centre pass here at Ken Rosewall Arena. And the big news for both of these two sides is that there's some massive inclusions on the Giants side of things, which is going to make this even more interesting. Kim, though, for the West Coast Fever, they maintain an unchanged starting 7 and the same 10 that did the business last week.
Yeah, solid as a rock. So they're coming in fully fit as the crowd has gone wild for Joe Harton coming on. But you know, this is what we expect from the Fever. We see them time and time again being able to rotate their bench, and they've got such a strong team. But if we look at the Giants line up there, of course, Joe Harden comes into the fold at goal shooter. Maddie Hay into that wing attack position, which then throws Sliger and Leatherburrow to the bench. So they've got a bit more experience under their belt over the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. We forgot the ball, Ben.
Here it comes. Better late than never. The Palmy Army's in the house. They're ready to go. Jamie Lee Price has the ball in hand. And we are ready to go here for the first match of Super Netball on your Sunday here on Fox Netball. So Joe Harton is back for the Giants as they look to upset the defending premiers here in Sydney. And Harton immediately involved here with Hay. Look at those two. They were missing last week. Involved here in the first score of the match.
Construction centre.
Glasgow finds Fowler. Teague Neal. And the Fever respond. 100% record continuing for Janelle Fowler this season.
You can see Fever early putting on that wall. Giants going back and then going over the top of them to get that depth.
Go in,
and that could hurt the Giants. And against the Fever side, which is ruthlessly efficient, Kim, and they get it back. Well, how big is that for the Giants?
Well, that's a big pickup from Sophie Dwyer. Going up with 2 hands, Julie Fitzgerald will be really happy with that start from her.
Front arm.
Sophie Dwyer from long range. Harton is going to pick up the rebound. Would you believe that's the first rebound this season for the Giants?
Well, if you take a look at that Harvey Norman replay, you can see the 2 hands from Dwyer. Her ball always with 2 hands.
And Fowler brings us back to 2 apiece. No missed shot conversions last week for the Giants side, and straight away, Joe Harton into the action. Tight start to this one. Hay finding Harton, who responds straight away. Just pushed it back to her. And she's getting her eye in early.
The confidence, the tricks. Love it.
Well, remember last season when these two met here, it was 1 goal the difference. And we are going goal for goal at the moment.
Contact.
Hay and Brandley. There was contact from Bruce on Price.
Bruce
Well,
I was just going to say, Bruce not happy about it.
yeah, well off the ball, wasn't it?
It was well off. Yeah, it was off the ball screen from Jamie Lee Price. She got Bruce stuck.
Well, Giants fans have only got one home game to start this season in the first month, so they want to get going early. Contact called there against the Giants, so here's Sasha Glasgow.
Contact, goalkeeper.
Fowler will get an easy opportunity here to lock us back up at 4 apiece. Oh, straight away intercepted by the Fever.
Well, and Anstis is so good at that, as we see that beautiful transition and connection. She has such great closing speed, so there's no way you can stop on that ball. We see the Harvey Norman replay. Only went with one hand, but she was well in front.
Contact, centre.
Massive play, isn't it, at this point in the match? Just gives the Fever a chance to have some breathing room here. Glasgow. Runs it across to Teague Neal. And Glasgow couldn't take it, and Brownlee picks it up. And now Price is off to find Dwyer. Harton.
That transition was so quick, Ben. It went from post to post in almost 4 passes.
Good take from Hay. Didn't know a whole lot about it. Dwyer quickly to Harton. Both sides look on today, Kim. This is shaping up nicely.
Sure is, and let's take a look at this Harvey Norman replay again. It was just a little bit too much on the ball. A pick up from Brandley. But Fever will be disappointed in that transition.
Well, Harton gets it to Hay. Long range again, Joe Harton. And Dwyer is going to take, and just getting Orion as well. Sophie Dwyer gets the Giants back out in front. Stacey Francis Bayman is courtside for us today. Stacey, what do you made of the start to this one?
Thanks, Ben. It's a pretty exciting start to the game, that's for sure. But at the minute, I've just been looking at the defenders in the circle. So as you can see from the Giants, they're dropping on a 2-on-1 against Janelle, which is probably the obvious thing to do when you're playing against such a tall shooter, but that leaves the opportunity of a Sasha Glasgow to roam free at the top of the circle. At the minute, they're not being exposed by it, but it'd be interesting to see how that develops across the game, because you can't leave Sasha just to gain confidence and just to start slotting in those super shots when the time comes.
Thanks, Stacey.
And Stacey's so right. When you look at Sasha Glasgow, she's only got 1 goal to her name. She will start injecting a little bit more and taking advantage there.
Dwyer keeps the Giants' noses in front. Simmons, Teague Neal. Good take from Glasgow. Over the top to Fowler. Very much in sync, that attacking combination for the West Coast Fever. So clinical on the Harvey Norman replay.
I was just going to say, that's the replay about trying to get the ball before it gets to Janelle.
Good arm in from Ariang, but contact given away. And Courtney Bruce, now this is looking like a painful one. She may have landed right on the knee there. To me, it looks as though it's one of those painful ones, contact right on the kneecap. Kim, is that what you're reading it as?
Yeah, I'm not certain as to what exactly happened. It certainly looks like a stinger. Looking at Dan Ryan just on the screen now, he doesn't look too concerned, and Bruce back into the action.
And Bruce right back into it to knock it away. And earn West Coast possession, so beware of the injured player. Oh, Maddie Hay immediately.
And that is why she's so imperative to to this team. Attacking-wise, she brings so much, but defensively, she has been in a few tips and touches already, but that one right there, game changer. Let's take a look again at this Harvey Norman replay. 2 hands, read it like a book.
Contact, all defense.
Contact from Brownlee on Glasgow. Here's Fowler. 8 from 8. And 8 apiece. Midway through this first quarter. You're watching Fox Netball. The 2 foes from the prelim final a couple of years ago. Wasn't that an absolute thriller? They're going at it here again here in Sydney. And what's shaping up is a cracking match of netball. Edging closer to the power 5.
You can see Courtney Bruce sitting up nice and high on this centre pass, trying to just dominate Maddie Hay. They go over the top.
Wasn't that beautiful from Dwight, just finding the space and then linking with Hart. 10-9. And then a touch from Hay. And it is going to be the Giants' ball.
Well, she's happy with that out there too. She's got a smile on her face. Julie Fitzgerald also does.
No 2-goal leads throughout this match. Every time there's been an intercept or a turnover. And here we go. First 2-goal lead of the match for either side.
And here's that replay, Ben. Right in front. She sticks like glue. Now, you've got to remember Maddie Hay was a wing defence, so she knows how to do this like with the back of the hand, like eyes closed.
And there's a turnover. And swiftly up the court. How about that from Bruce to Teague Neal to now Glasgow to Simmons. And Sasha Glasgow, she gets herself underway.
Beautiful shot there. Great transition.
How about that from Sunday Ariang? And we've got a HCF tactical timeout called by Julie Fitzgerald. And we probably need that, Kim, just to take a breath. What a starting 9 and a bit minutes. Let's hear from the Giants head coach.
We need a bit more pressure so we can get a little bit more back here. Tilly and April, remember the whole game changes now. We're going into that last 5. We don't want them coming in that 2-point zone. We can't afford to drop that stuff, okay? Get them a bit more help up front. So a little bit closer, I reckon. Just that tag. Tiny little bit, all right? Sophie, well
Gary,
done.
can you hear me on this one?
Well done down there, all right? Make sure we don't end up with 2 on the base. 2 working the base. Make sure we don't have 2 on the base. All right? But good work down there. Well done. Don't want 2 shooters in the 2-point zone, all right? 26 seconds, okay? Great start, guys. Here we go.
Deep breath in here.
19.
Really good start. Now we want to push on. So we're going up again. We're on the defence all the way through the court, then nice and calm, steady on attack. Here we go. Straight up, 1, 2, 3, tries.
Well, you hear it there. Jo Harden demanding excellence from her team. Julie Fitzgerald also talking to both her defence and attack, making sure they understand that they're going into the super shot period and to be on their game.
There's the Palmy Army in full voice, loving the start to this one. West Coast Fever, though, a chance to get us back level once again. Glasgow, that's a good take. And Fowler brings us back to 11 all. 11-9 the Giants led. Let's go to the court side with Stacey.
Thanks, Ben. Just listening in on the Fever timeout there, Dan was really impressing the importance of stopping Giants from scoring back-to-back goals, which is how you start to build that gradual lead. So obviously the game is back to level now. They really want to focus on Sasha not hanging out wide, but coming through the middle and really forcing and exposing that one-on-one to a Janelle Fowler in the circle.
Stacey, I was just going to ask, we've seen Dan Ryan jump up into the coach's box. What does that generally mean for Fever?
I think for me, it's a real clear indicator of being awareness that there's going to be a moment. So whether the opposition has taken your possession and scored a goal, he's generally in the box there, ramping up the defenders, getting vocal, telling them to contest and get in the ball, or equally changing the momentum on attack, really just trying to drive that messaging home to his team. Amazing shot by Glasgow.
Well, Glasgow responds to what Harton produced. First Suncorp super shot attempt from Joe Harton. 1 from 1, and then Glasgow responds at the other end. And they'll play it conservative here. Who is going to blink first in this match?
Fever struggling to get over on that centre pass. Finally ending up going backwards.
Glasgow to Teague-Nield. Fowler. Brings it back to 14 all. Dan Ryan enjoying what he's saying so far. How about that from the Fever? Shooting accuracy 100% all round. Ariang on Dwyer, so Dwyer a chance to set for the Suncorp super shot, and it drops for Sophie Dwyer.
Runners goal attack obstruction.
What do the West Coast Fever
Runners
respond
centre
with here?
obstruction.
Do they look for 2? Glasgow again.
Obstruction on the jump.
Glasgow responds straight away.
She's got a beautiful shot. It's nice and high. It drops. The net swishes. You can see she's got confidence out there at the moment.
16 all. What a classic this is shaping up as, Kim. We haven't had any misses from Suncorp super shot range. And that could hurt the Giants.
And look at this transition, Ben. Giants have to be a little bit quicker on that, get on defence, push them back up court, but there's that connection. Alice Teague-Nield to Janelle Fowler.
And they get the next centre pass as well. You don't want to turn the ball over against the Fever in any period of the match, especially during this Power 5, but they're only going to take it up with the 1-point shot for Janelle Fowler. So 18-16, their biggest lead of the match now, the Fever. They've got 3 in a row. The Giants can bring this back straight away. What do they do here, though? Tactical decision here for the Giants. Do they try and bridge the deficit straight away? Joe Harton tries for the rebound, and the decision is it will be West Coast Fever ball. So it was the all or nothing.
Some physicality coming into the game too, Ben, under the post there. Umpires let it go for a little bit.
Bruce, oh, she was holding on to that for a while. The home crowd were counting the seconds. And Fowler able to bring it out to the biggest lead of the match in 3 now. The Fever's advantage.
And look at that feed on the Harvey Norman replay from Simmons. Well timed.
Glasgow, this would be a hammer blow.
Contact goalkeeper. You're backing into her.
Oh, contact call given against Tilly McDonald. Home fans not happy. We'll get Kim Green's thoughts on that, but it's for the margin now.
Giants!
Happy or unhappy with that decision?
Well, it's an interesting one, and there's always a lot of tussle under there. I think the umpires will keep a keen eye on that going forward, but normally the defender's always wrong, Ben.
Sophie Dwyer, this is really big for the Giants. Really big, and Dwyer drains. There's another $100 for the Confident Girls Foundation. Simmons, Teague-Nield. Well, Glasgow and Fowler, they were both after it. Fowler got there. Giants have managed to claw it back, though. This is a big play, isn't it? Seconds before quarter time. You can see Fowler leading the Nissan net points. Touch from Bruce, the deflection going over the baseline. So they've only got 15 seconds.
Plenty of time, Ben, on this one.
And Dwyer to bring it back to one. She's unstoppable from that kind of range, Sophie Dwyer. How good are they from the Suncorp Super Shot range, the Giants? What a match this is at Ken Rosewell Arena. The Fever, the defending premiers, tested in that first quarter by the Giants. And we are going to take a short break here on Fox Netball, and we'll be back with the second quarter right after this.
To make the grit moment, and we're losing it early. All right, so that's your ability to get on the ball, and then we get charged. Right?
This is quarter time brought to you by Origin Energy, and Ken Rosewell Arena has been set alight by some wonderful shooting from Sophie Dwyer and Jo Harton in that first half. Glasgow and Fowler, well, they're just pretty impressive every week, Kim, but what a start to this match.
Yeah, it's an exciting one, but we listened to Dan Ryan just then talking about not staying stationary once Bruce gets the ball. Bruce has got her hands on a couple of balls, but yeah, it is that last second pass that she's having to give off, so there is no downtime from the Fever. They need to step up.
So once again, just waiting on the umpires to get us all set and ready to go in the second quarter. Giants' first home match of the season, and they've been treated, the home fans, to some spectacular netball in the first quarter. And Jo Harton right through the heart there of the West Coast defence.
And that's exactly what they were missing last week, that connection between Hay and Harden. Took them almost 6 or 7 passes to get it in last week, 2 in that play.
Glasgow, she has been wonderfully efficient as well. Hasn't got the same volume as Fowler. So reliable though. Almost more pressure on her because she doesn't take as many shots.
Yeah, she doesn't need to do as much under the post when she's doing so much out the front. She is so effective under there.
Good take from Hart because Ariang did so well. 22 all. It's been this kind of margin throughout. The Fever did get out by 3 at the back end of that first quarter, but the Giants, through their super shot shooting, got themselves back into the contest.
No, beside her.
And Fowler still has not missed. I hope I don't put the commentator's curse on her.
You do that, man.
Not this season. She has not missed. Sophie Dwyer, mid-range, so magnificent. 3 from 3 from the Suncorp Super Shot, 5 from 7. The 1-point shot. Teague Neal fed by Fowler, and now Glasgow. She's going mid-range as well. Just overcooked it. Overcooked it quite a lot. She'll get another opportunity. That time doesn't need a second invitation.
Fever would want to really start pushing up here as Hay gets that back space. The Giants are using a lot of back space at the moment. Dan Ryan won't be happy with that. Bruce gets that nice rebound though.
And you can see the frustration from Jo Harton.
Contact, goal attack advantage, obstruction.
Could have they got closer to the post? That's the question maybe she's thinking about there. 24 all. Teague Neal to Fowler. They're back out again, West Coast.
Beautiful release from Alice Teague Neal on that one. Just waited for the space to open up. Fowler outside the circle though. And this
intercept from Parmenter, and the Palmy Army are going off. I think they've lifted the roof here at Ken Rosewell Arena. Can they make it count here, the Giants? They need to. Remembering they have the next centre pass. That's burst through the fingers of Price. They're going to get the call though, the home side.
Just come around.
A lucky one from the Giants. It's Simmons just going offside on that one. Look at that back space opening again. Hay saw it. A little bit overcooked though.
Good pressure from West Coast. Let's go courtside with Stacey.
Thanks, Ben. Just listening previously to the Giants huddle at quarter time, Julie was really asking Palmy to get in on that first ball contest, and she's really taken that feedback to heart, gone out there, gotten hand to ball and an interception already. Potentially it's also been made her job a little bit easier at the centre pass, because Fever have only got one attacker up to the line. However, that's where they've been most successful today, and is probably the only area of improvement really that you can see from their game.
Thanks, Stacey. So West Coast Fever just creeping away here. Equal biggest margin of the match for them. Out by 3. Their defensive pressure has been good to start this second quarter. How about that? Sneaking closer.
And we talked about in pre-game about the mental battle between Bruce and Harden, and that's it right there. It's the playing a little bit of silly buggers with each other to see who can get under each other's skin.
Of course, know each other well from this competition, but also internationals as well. Harton v Bruce. Fowler at the other end. She's 19 from 19.
Goal attack obstruction, send a third. Sorry, wing attack. Beside the wing. Contact, centre.
Contact there from Simmons. Dwyer. And now Hay. Harton and Hay again. That link up like we saw seconds earlier. Keeping themselves within touching distance. That was well done by Anstis. Fowler. Oh, she's just so good, isn't she?
She's so good in the air, is so strong.
Off balance, one-handed, and was able to just make it look that easy.
And the luxury for the feeders to know that she can pull that out as well.
Hay, Dwyer and Harton.
Contact on the fence. Just there.
And Harton keeps responding at the other end. The tunnel to feed Fowler is just ginormous, isn't it? Look at this. Glasgow. And that's all from that initial grab from Fowler around the corner.
It is, and Fever do a great job of mixing up whether or not they get to the top of the circle or they feed off the circle really quickly. So keep an eye on that too.
And now Harton just showing what she's got at the other end, but it goes against the Giants captain. Oh, good touch from Price. It'll still be West Coast ball though, over the sideline. And put down by Teague Neal. Again, not the call for the home team. The fans desperate to get excited in this second quarter. They've been kept relatively quiet. Can they stop Fowler? She just shows no signs of slowing down. This season, 76 from 76.
Well, you can see in back play here, Ben. Lauren Moore coming onto the court. Bad timing from the Giants on that changeover. Should have waited for the next centre pass.
That is frustrating for Julie Fitzgerald on the bench. Just left Fowler open. She doesn't need it that easy.
Offside centre.
Price. Harton.
Contact on the fence.
Look at that box in the circle. You can see Bruce hedging into that pocket where the Giants are loving taking the ball at the moment.
Well, high risk there. The Palmy Army trying to inspire. The home side contact from Parmenter on Ariang.
Here's that feed getting to the top of the circle from Simmons. Changing the pace, changing the timing of that. Now that they've got a new goalkeeper on in Lauren Moore, you have to just work your way into the game.
And turned over again. There's the intercept from Ariang. Teague Neal. Simmons will get there, finding Glasgow. Contact on the Fever's goal attack, and she'll get an opportunity again to feed Fowler. 6 now. And here is a HCF tactical timeout. You understand why Julie Fitzgerald has made this decision.
Nice and steady with that ball. Make sure of everything that you're doing. Make sure we have leads to the ball. Your change of pace or a little preempt has worked beautifully here, so let's make sure that happens. If we have Amy or someone out of play, take the one that's closest to the top of the post.
I just need to play short.
Yeah, no, that's all right, but if someone's out of play, take the one that's closest to the top. They're much better off feeding in the top than they are wide, so take that one there, all right? Now just steady down, take a deep breath, let's get that discipline back that we had before. Too much room down here. Let's tidy it right up in defence so that we're closer but off the body, all right?
Let's dictate the pace. At the moment, we're not keeping up with the pace of the game. So for in defence, we'll get on the body, we'll slow where they can move. And in attack, we've got to get in front of our player, get the ball up, get the fake, and then play the short. They want us to throw long. Yeah? 7 minutes to go, and it's going to be a tough 7 minutes. We've got to lift here. And that's zero phase in the moment we get out of this huddle. Here we go. Let's go. Lift. Starts on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Well, there you have it. Jo Harden, again, very vocal in that HCF timeout. She's saying that she wants her attackers to get on the body and then come to the ball, stop going into the back space that was working so well, keep it nice and short. In attack, the Fever want them to play long. They love the intercepts. They love coming out for the big ones, so keep it nice and short.
Glasgow and Fowler. Doesn't matter who's on her, whether it's Lauren Moore or Tilly McDonald. She is doing the business.
And there's that Harvey Norman replay. It's a well-placed ball from Glasgow. You know, it may look really easy, but it's not. You have to get it in the perfect position, and Fowler has to be strong underneath the post. Look at that feed.
Really good feed, wasn't it, to Dwyer, and it just trickles it. And April Brandley picking out Dwyer perfectly on the Harvey Norman replay.
And it was the work from Jo Harden, drawing the players through the middle, opens up the space at the back.
Can they get a turnover here, the Giants? Glasgow, and even when she misses, Fowler's on hand to snatch the rebound.
Brandley almost surprised that she didn't get that rebound.
We're just going to have the court wiped here. You can see the sweat just dripping off Janelle Fowler as she got up. 5-goal difference in this second quarter. 1 the difference in the first away of the Fever, and that means 6 overall, and now 7. Biggest lead of this match so far, and the Giants, we know how deadly they are in the Power 5. Well, they're desperate for that to arrive pretty quickly now.
A better lead up for the Giants, nice and short.
And Dwyer gets that confidence boost right before the Power 5. And this is a HCF tactical timeout called by Dan Ryan right before the Power 5 to get his side organised.
From an attacking perspective here is let's take our time, all right? The more time we've got possession, the less time they have to shoot the opportunities, all right? So if there's a penalty, we take our time, we slow our tempo down a little bit, stay aggressive with what we're doing, and keep the scoreboard pressure on, but have an awareness, all right? So everything we're doing in this circle here is going to be chaotic, get around the front position, you two guys never still, keep changing your angles all the time. The more hedging and flying we're doing, the higher the chances of that missed pass going in, all right? But we know they're going to take super shots, all right? If one's on it, others on rebound, all right? Anytime we get a chance to milk a few seconds, we take it. Defensively for you guys, when we get to 3 minutes, let's double slide.
You yell it out.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 minutes, right?
3 minutes. 3 minutes. Yell it out.
Okay, let's come out of this break charging. Right, we're up and in control. Let's maximise it. Know they're dangerous. Let's be more dangerous. Let's go.
Well, fantastic insights the HCF tactical timeout from Dan Ryan. The Giants are very, very good at the Power 5, and what he has just said to his team is run the clock down, possession is key, still score, but take your time on it so it gives Giants less opportunity to get those super shots.
So West Coast favourite would seem will probably get the first opportunity here in the Power 5. Teague Neal and Fowler. Just dummies to pass to Glasgow. So Giants behind by 7. They really need some Suncorp super shots. And the touch from Anstis wins back possession for West Coast.
That's a big score from Anstis, especially in this time.
And they'll get it back.
Disappointing.
Dwyer. And a touch again from Ariang. They were looking for Harton. It's just not going to plan in this second quarter so far for the Giants. And they just cannot contain Fowler and the West Coast Fever get the next centre pass. Dominating at the moment the Nissan net points. Fowler and Dwyer, Glasgow up there, so you can see the attack end's doing really well.
Look at this change of pace. You can just see they're working it to the top of the circle, doing everything that Dan Ryan is saying. He's very happy on the sideline right now.
Hay, Harton. And Dwyer.
And another one there. Julie Fitzgerald would be very, very angry at this start off the tactical timeout. They haven't had an opportunity to go to shot just yet.
And you just wonder whether it's the pressure of the scoreboard that's getting to them. They know they need Suncorp super shots. And a touch from Moore. The decision doesn't go the way of the home side. You can hear the home fans expressing their disappointment. Ariang. 8 of the last 10 the way of the West Coast intercept from Price. Brandley. Can they turn the momentum here, the Giants? Harton in super shot range. Needs this. It doesn't drop. And they get it back. Another intercept for Jamie Lee Price.
Gosh, she's strong.
Sophie Dwyer to continue her 100% from the Suncorp super shot. That's 4 from 4 today from Dwyer.
And Jamie Lee Price on the Harvey Norman replay read it like a book, but so strong and took the risk to take it on.
So, 8 the difference. They have this centre pass to make it 6. Oh, contact there from Amy Parmenter. And that's a misplaced pass. All of a sudden, the West Coast Fever can't find hands.
And this is what the super shot does, this Power 5 period. It completely changes the game for both teams. We've seen Fever go up, then Giants completely shift their momentum now. Here we go again.
Well, Harton to Dwyer. 5 from 5, not quite. But the Giants will get it back. Courtney Bruce couldn't quite reel it in. Price to Harton. Massive, massive from Harton. And they get the next centre pass. Oh, what a fight back. They were behind by 10. 10 they were behind. Is it back to 2? Not quite, not quite. That's the way they play, the Giants. Risk and reward, and they've got plenty of reward in the last few minutes. Price gets a deflection. It will be West Coast Fever from the sideline.
Price being an absolute pest.
39-29, the Fever led. And they stem the bleeding.
Giants get the ball once again.
Dan Ryan, Steely faced.
Contact, goalkeeper.
Bruce gives away the contact penalty. So they've only got seconds here.
Contact inside the circle.
More than enough time for the Giants. High risk.
Obstruction, both players.
Well, you can see what they're doing here.
Smart from Harden.
Harden's going to leave it for Dwyer. She'll get the shot, and it drops right on half-time. Another Suncorp super shot for their superstar, Sophie Dwyer. 5 in the first half. And it's 3 the difference at half-time after they were behind by 10. Sophie Dwyer just checks the score. They've brought it back by 7, Kim Green. That is impressive.
It was super impressive and exactly what Giants needed to do. Fever will be super disappointed with that one.
Let's get some reaction with Stacey.
Thanks, Ben. Maddie Hay, welcome back to the court. I know that the Giants fans are absolutely thrilled to see you out there. Phenomenal second quarter. What did you guys say going into that final super shot period?
I think obviously we started a bit slow at the start of that second quarter and they really gave it to us. We can't afford to be giving away any ball to them. They're a perfect team, really. I just think we came home strong. We had a little chat, had a timeout, and we know we can catch up in the twos when we need to.
Is that the strategy? Will you be throwing to the twos as much as possible because you've got some threats?
The first goal is to be winning in the first 10 minutes. We want to take a lead early, but yeah, we have 2 amazing shooters, so we know we can catch up. We just don't want to have to put them under that kind of pressure.
And obviously, this is your first game back for the season. You missed Team Girls Cup, but it doesn't look like you've missed a beat. How have you been preparing away from the court to come and play the game that you're playing today?
Well, nothing actually compares to match fitness, as you know, but I've been working hard on the sidelines. I only had a good 2 weeks off, but I'm definitely feeling it today, and hopefully I'll warm up a little bit more into the game.
Awesome. Well, Fever need to watch out if you're going to get hotter in the second half. Thank you. Back to you.
Thanks, Stacey, and thanks to Maddie Hay. What a first half that was. 8 super shots from the home side, the Giants, getting it back to 3 the difference at half-time. Do not forget, after this one is completed, we head to Melbourne for the Melbourne Derby, the Vixens and the Magpies. Remember the drama they dished up last year in that final round? Well, that's coming your way right after this one. After the break, though, it's the half-time show. We'll see you soon. The Giants are fighting back here at Ken Rosewall Arena. Welcome back to round 2 of the Suncorp Super Netball. The third quarter just about to get underway. And Jamie Lee Price finding Parmenter right off the bat. And they like to continue the momentum, Kim Green, because you'd probably say half-time came at a bad time for the Giants because they had such momentum.
Yeah, they certainly did, Ben. And you can see that they're trying to continue that momentum now with scoring this first centre pass.
Remembering that it was 10 the difference in the minutes leading up to half-time. It's almost incredible how quickly the lead evaporated. And Harden can't collect the rebound, and Bruce quickly able to find Ariang. So that's not what the Giants needed right after half-time. And we've got their coach, Julie Fitzgerald. Julie, obviously you probably wouldn't be happy with that first centre pass, unable to convert. But just tell us about that fight back right before half-time. You must have been proud of that.
I was happy with the fight back, but I think we had 5 or 7 minutes in there where we just didn't play as well as we could have, and that's all you need for Fever to get that sort of a lead.
Well, Jules, we talk about the centre pass. You're sitting at 65% conversion at the moment. Where do you think it's breaking down?
I just think we made very silly areas for a period of time there. We just didn't have the discipline that we'd had earlier in that first quarter, and it cost us.
And talk to us about Hay and Harden being back in the game. Tell it, what sort of confidence does it bring to your side?
Oh, look, it definitely brings a lot of confidence to our side, and I think last week to have them both out, we've got some very good young players, but to have 4 under 22 on the court was just a bit too much for us. Julie, thanks so much for your time. Good luck. Thank you.
Giants coach Julie Fitzgerald really appreciating the access to players and coaches. And great to get her thoughts. Unfortunately, though, not the start to the third quarter she would have liked.
And Ben, we have seen some changes from the Fever. Jenna comes onto the court, which will bring that physicality in that goal defence position, which shifts everyone up, and Simmons to the bench. So a bit of a change up from the Fever.
Oh, that's brilliant from Hay to Harton with the layup. There's a momentum swinger.
And that is why she's on the court and she's their leader. Gosh, she's good.
And those are the two players. There's a prime example of what they bring. Hay with the intercept, Harton, and now Dwyer just feeding off the back of the momentum.
And there's that Harvey Norman replay just there. A beautiful layup. She'll be looking back at those highlights, I'm sure of it.
Oh, Glasgow clattered into by Brandley. We've said it throughout, a willing contest. No love lost between these two sides. Remember that preliminary final we touched on, 2021. The Giants knocked out the Fever. They had a 3-match winning run that was ended in the West last year when the Fever got the job done, 86-77. It was a high-scoring match, and you expect the same here today. We know the Fever such a great side in attack, but the Giants, they're always after those 2-point opportunities in the Power 5. And Dwyer was looking for that a little earlier. Trying to get a range in order. She does that from mid-range. That's how good Sophie Dwyer is.
Giants doing a great job defensively here, pushing Teague Neal nice and high on that second phase, nothing deep. Anster still finds it though.
Fowler just nudged off balance by Moore. 36 from 36 today. This season, 91 from 91.
And that's why she's the league MVP every year.
Oh, there's a great touch from Courtney Bruce.
And here they come. Look at them coming down the court nice and quickly, post to post.
And that time Parmenter just got a little deflection, favoured Teague Neal, and then more. They thought that finally Fowler was not going to receive that pass, but she still got on the end of it. This is why she got the opportunity, Courtney Bruce.
And she is epic at those moments in a game where you need someone to stand up. She is the person.
And that's all you need when you have a 2- and 3-goal margin, which they did, the Fever. All they need is that one deflection from Courtney Bruce, gaining back possession, and they're out by 5. Hay, Dwyer to Price. Harton, and a touch from Ansters, crucial. Teague Neal to Glasgow.
Advantage offside.
And Fowler.
Obstruction.
Impressive play by the Fever. It was almost post to post. They walked it down. Ansters gets that little tip in on the Harvey Norman replay and the backup from Bruce.
And they're away again here, West Coast Fever. The defending premiers showing their class.
Advantage contact centre.
Moore tried to get up. She was off balance, Fowler.
Giants.
So out to 7 again. The Giants, they pulled it back to 2. Back to 7 now, the deficit. Hay spots Price, who finds Dwyer. That is swift work.
Here's that Harvey Norman replay once again. The swing where Dwyer was completely open. Jenna caught herself on Hay outside the circle.
They just need a turnover, the Giants. Desperate for it.
Goal defense obstruction. Advantage
And
goal.
Glasgow She's getting herself ready as we near the power 5. She's 2 from 3 from Suncorp super shot range. We're a few minutes away from that now. Harton linking with Price. Contact from Jenna. Harton couldn't make it drop immediately. Does on the second attempt.
Break, wing attack, send it through, far side.
Oh, and this could be a momentum swinger. Price. Brandley. Returns it to Price now. Harton. She reefs the ball off Courtney Bruce. She wasn't letting the Fever captain have any part in that. Dwyer needs this. She needs it desperately and gets it. And they get the next centre pass. Let's go to the sideline with Stacey.
Thanks, Ben. It's a crucial moment here for Giants as they try and go, oh, I'm not sure that they teach you that at school, at club, at Giants. That was just absolutely magic there. A goal assist from the net, I think, to Jo Harton. Yeah, Giants obviously would really have liked to have converted that into a goal, but what I am seeing from them is an increased level of physicality and trying to get in the contest, win themselves some clean ball and see if they can try and get better on the scoreboard in this first half of the quarter outside of the super shot period.
And Stacey, just a question on the change with Jenna coming in at goal defence. Already has 4 penalties to her name. What does she need to do in this next 6 minutes?
Yeah, well, the instructions, or the last instructions to her from Dan Ryan on the sideline before she went on was be clean, get in the contest. So it's a really tricky battle, I think, as a defender. You obviously want to win ball, be confident to go for it, but if you're out-whistled, you're out of the game and you're not doing your job.
West Coast Fever, they lead it by 4 at the moment.
Thank you.
The Giants, though, within striking distance.
Contact in defence.
Contact given away by Parmenter, the home crowd. The Palmy Army, I think, were making some noise there. Fowler. 97 from 97 this season. Janelle Fowler. She's getting close to a century at 100%. And Hay, well, she just passes it straight to Jenna. It was as if Kim Jenner called for it and Hay just passed it straight to her. And Price got a touch, but it will be the Fever's possession from the sideline.
Well, and Stacey was talking about the physicality, going that little bit higher with the Giants, and you saw that in that contest just then and again. They've got to be mindful to stay in play in the next little bit. Create the pressure.
Fowler reels it in.
Gosh, she's good.
And converts.
On one foot, not sure which one she had to put down.
So here we go. Teague Neal. Fowler reaches. And drops it through. So we're into the power 5.
I was just going to say, Ben, no one coming to the ball just then. Very disjointed.
Hay over the top. Gee, what a touch from Harton. Massive moment, because Dwyer drains the Suncorp super shot.
They've had some luck on their side, Ben. The last few minutes.
5 the difference, 53-48 in favour of the Fever. And Fowler. Well, this should be it. 100 from 100 at 100% this season. Price. And now Harton. Another Suncorp super shot. Another one delivered for the Giants. 54-50. The advantage for the defending premiers, the Fever. Fowler out to Anstis.
A nice lead up here from Fever, making sure they get to Circle's edge on that feed.
Glasgow looking for the super shot and gets it to drop. You could hear a pin drop here at Ken Rosewell Arena. Back to 6 the margin. Price Touch from the Fever. Just claps the hands together in frustration.
Yeah, frustrated that she didn't go with the two hands to intercept that one. I was just going to say they were getting tips and touches, but trying to turn over the ball. And Jenna was able to pick up the scraps on that one. Oh, and what a feed from Anstis. The draw from Glasgow out. See the Harvey Norman replay. A beautiful placed pass, well timed.
So 57-50, the Fever in front now. 2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. And power time, the power five, I should say, working well for the West Coast Fever this time around. 58-50 now. Price, Parmenter, and Hay, and Price just got back in possession in the nick of time. Hart to bring it back to a half dozen, doesn't drop.
Fantastic rebound from Bruce on that one. Could sense the momentum was going to shift and they need to take their time on this one, so you can see the playing around of the ball.
Fowler, just one giant step. 59-50 with just over 90 seconds remaining in this third quarter. They can push it back out to the biggest lead of the match, 10 goals. Maybe 11 if Glasgow can convert, and she does. Sasha Glasgow pushes this out to 11, the biggest margin of the match so far.
You can see Jo Harden in the last little bit really wanting to body up. I think once she starts moving, it starts to bring the defenders out of play. So a little bit more movement in that shooting circle is necessary for the Giants to stay in it.
Well, they're going to need a big finish here. Fowler gets one going against her for the first time today. One slight mistake. That's how good she is. She is brilliant, Fowler. One tiny little chink in the armour there. And it allows the Giants a chance to bridge this gap further. It rolls around and out. Harton says, I'll go again. And it doesn't drop. What's the decision? Fever, their possession. That would have been big. 9-goal margin. Are they quick enough to make it 10? They've got less than 15 seconds. They'll try and see out most of the clock, the West Coast Fever. Glasgow, that is a hammer blow. Right on three-quarter time. It's back to 11. It could have been 7 for a moment if Harton made that Suncorp super shot. Instead, it is 11 the margin at three-quarter time. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after the break here on Fox Netball. Don't forget, after the Melbourne Derby here on Fox Netball, Helen Housby is the special guest on the purple couch on Pivot with Hannah Hollis and the team. Do not miss it right here. Fox Netball Channel 505, the New South Wales Swift star. And I'm sure she'll have some tales from last night after that dramatic draw, we're going to call it, last night in Adelaide. They did split the points at half-time, 25 apiece here at Ken Rosewall Arena here in Sydney. The Palmy Army is being kept quiet because their team is behind by 11 goals. This is going to take something special. Can they produce it? We know how good they are from the Suncorp super shot. Not very efficient in the third quarter. They're going to have to turn that around here in the fourth. They have the first centre pass though. Dwyer and Hay, Harton. Anstis went barreling to the ground. They couldn't start the third quarter converting a centre pass. They need to start the fourth. And it's desperation time here for the Giants, Kim Green.
It sure is, and they need to stay well within this score to try and get themselves in. As we get another turnover here, it's a messy start to our fourth quarter.
And almost turned it right back to the Fever. Fortunately, though, they have possession, the Giants. If they want to claw back this margin, they have to produce the perfect quarter of netball. There's no other avenue to victory.
And you can see that physicality coming into the game now. Players are getting a little bit more tired, riding players a little bit more, making, you know, the decisions to whether or not they ride the body or come off.
Well, they've got the centre pass. So can they make it 3 in a row to start the fourth quarter? It'll just get a little more volume out of these home fans. Parmenter, Dwyer. Long to Hay. Harton right there next to Jenner. Under the post. 3 in a row to start the fourth quarter for the Giants.
A risky ball, but gosh, it paid off. We take a look at the Harvey Norman replay. It's across 3 channels, which we normally say don't do. But it was completely open. Oh, and the connection from Teague Neild to Fowler.
Glasgow took a body blow down on court.
Contact, wing defense, hold.
Contact called against Ariang. Price, Hay, linking with Dwyer. Getting herself into some space inside the circle is Sophie Dwyer.
Well, it's a nice little fake from Maddie Hay. We take a look at this Harvey Norman replays. The little fake there. Draw Jenner off the body.
So they're just cleaning up the court where Glasgow hit the deck a few minutes ago. 8 the difference. Teague Neild. Anster's touch from Parmenter. The Army was up and about. Parmenter with the ball. She touched it and it came out off the Fever.
And we haven't talked much about Amy Parmenter at the moment. Teague Neild sitting on 25 centre pass receives and 28 feeds. She's been well in the game.
They've got the next centre pass if they can convert here. Well, they've got the next centre pass regardless, but if they convert here, they have the chance to get it back to 6. Joe Harton must and does. Here come the Giants.
Oh, and a falcon from Teague Neild.
Price.
Advantage offside.
Dwyer, Harton. They have had a bit of misfortune go against them, West Coast Fever. And still they've been able to get themselves out to a margin of 6, but the Giants are clawing their way back. So, big centre pass this for West Coast Fever. They must try and stem the tide. Fowler.
And Smart from Glasgow looked like she was going in for the shot.
That's 50 from 50 for Fowler today. 55 from 55 last week.
And we look at the Nissan net points match leaders. Fowler sitting right at the top there. Glasgow, Teague Neild from the Giants. Price and Hay also having a say. 6-1 in the start of this fourth quarter. 7-2, sorry.
Glasgow, Ariang, Teague Neild. Fowler with the arm up. Moore got the touch. Lauren Moore has won it for the Giants. She's done the almost impossible. And that's pinch it off Fowler. She has done a good job since she's come out there at goalkeeper for Tilly McDonald, who went off with what looked to be a rib issue. Oh, and Parmenter's thrown it away.
Julie bitterly disappointed. It just needed one more pass before getting into that goal third.
Well, that could have brought it back potentially to 4 had they converted there, because they would have had the next centre pass to go after again.
Fever struggling on this transition. Actually, I think both teams are really struggling in this transition over the goal third line.
The defensive pressure has just gone to another level with the finish line in sight. So Fowler keeps things ticking over. Here's a chance for a breather. We have got a HCF tactical timeout called by Dan Ryan. Just a slow start to this fourth quarter for his side.
Wing defence, jump into TD and into the middle, all right? Attacking in here quickly, I'll come in. JJ, Bezzy, all right? Where's Sash? Yeah. Just get an
back into centre. Anstis back onto the wing defence. He was wanting more from their attackers. Siding Janelle really early, faking and giving the ball. So let's see what Simmons can bring back into this match.
So Maddie Hay with possession in her hands. Brandley, Price. Being slowed down here by the Fever. Can they find a path through? It's like getting through treacle at the moment, this, but Joe Harton emerges in space.
Well, and the structure from Fever, they're in a box zone. They saw the opening to have it intercept wide.
Well, hang on a second. We've got another HCF tactical timeout. What's going on here? Julie Fitzgerald has called it on this occasion.
Well, this is tactics then. Joe Harden wanting to put the upper hand on the Fever.
Not to give it up, take a deep breath. Let's make sure we can go out and do that again when we come out from the right?
There wouldn't be much to talk about here, I would say.
Play around that, punch the middle.
Right up to that and back to top. Same with Sasha. Right up to that and back to top, right? Really good job.
Kind of drifting in, put your foot down front or back.
45 seconds, take a deep breath.
Let's see some talk out there.
Take a deep breath when you're composed and get out there and try hard.
Let's come out firing though, yeah? Right, tough, hard netball again, the Giants way. It's a great start to the quarter. We're going to build the next 5 minutes. Here we go. Giants up 3, 1, 2, 3, Giants!
Yeah, it is a great start to this fourth quarter. 5 the difference in the Giants' favour after they were down by 11 at three-quarter time. So a couple of tactical timeouts brought to you by HCF in quick succession. Let's go to Stacey.
Oh my gosh, dying here on the sideline. Listening into the timeout previously to that one, Joe Harton said to the girls, we've got 2 timeouts here. Let's play it smart. Let's mess with the clock. Excellent tip and huge physical commitment there by Jamie Lee Price to turn the ball back in Giants' favour. But yes, anyway, Giants have another tactical timeout up their sleeve. Expect them to play it. They want to frustrate the West Coast Fever and to keep momentum swinging in their way because they've started this fourth quarter like a steam train.
Thanks, Stacey. Well, they thought they had it back, the Giants, but they've given it up. And now Fowler. Up goes the right arm. And that's dangerous if you're the Giants. They really must keep it around this kind of margin and potentially try and make further inroads.
Harden and Dwyer on that positional switch. Harden coming high and Dwyer feeling that space as she goes for another shot just there.
She's got a hot hand, hasn't she, Sophie Dwyer? It's only worth one, though. That's the difference in this fourth. So the fight back from the Giants clear to see. But the Fever just keeping them at arm's length at the moment. Dwyer dwelled a little. Hay returns it to Dwyer. And there's Maddie Hay quickly. That time to Harton back inside to Dwyer. From a little closer than seconds ago. No problems for Sophie.
Fever just going back on that centre pass, trying to relieve the attack end here.
Obstruction centre.
Glasgow in space. Fowler now. Big step.
And a nice settler from the Fever. Take it nice and wide with Glasgow. Nice little place ball into Fowler.
So less than 2 minutes until the power 5. We said it was going to take a miracle from the Giants to pull back 11 goals. They're within striking distance, but that won't help. Bruce flung it out, and Parmenta's got it. It was going in slow motion for a moment there. Who was going to get it? Amy Parmenta. Price, Harton asking for it over the top.
Come forward a step. That's it.
And Dwyer trying to get herself ready for the power 5. She's 7 from 8 Suncorp super shots. Parmenta so close. Team Neal flung it back. That's a massive play from Glasgow. Oh, what a call against Fowler.
A replay on that ball. Oh, but the other umpire on the other side is saying, no, we're bringing it back here. Made the call earlier.
You just can't script this. Absolute drama. There's the replay call, but in the end, it was brought back.
Advantage contact, goalkeeper.
And Hay to Price.
Advantage obstruction.
Dwyer. There is an advantage for the Giants. You heard from the umpire.
Fever only has no...
Seconds away from power time. Remember, the Giants get the next centre pass. 5, here we go. And they've got the next centre pass. Price to Hay. Do they wait till power time? The power 5 on the way.
Price just sitting in the pocket there. She needs to re-offer.
Yeah, I think they are keen to wait here. Dwyer. Across to Hay, Harton asking for it. She wants the clock to tick a little quicker. Or they're just going to settle for the 1. Here we go. Julie Fitzgerald trying to fire up her side, who've got 6 of the last 10 goals in this match. The Fever under some pressure here. The Giants trying to squeeze them. But Fowler's too good for that.
Yeah, Simmons had her eyes sighted just on Fowler, wanted to give that ball all along.
HCF tactical timeout on the way. Do not turn away from this one. 5 the difference, 4.5 to go.
Stand up the whole time, telling you exactly where you're at, all right? Tap holding now, make sure there are no turn-offs, all right? Remember, when we're playing for twos, we don't want both of you hanging around there because if you're all sitting together, we want to spread them out. But it's, keep your eye on that score, because we don't have to go up no big 4 twos, all right? You're behind the chair, let's go, Dragon.
positivity and confidence to our players. They have 5 goals to get back in 4.5 minutes, and I can see them doing it.
Oh, they certainly can. They're behind by 11 at three-quarter time. So they have the centre pass here. Can they bring it back to 3? Or are they going to go a little conservative? They want to get it there first. Brandley. And Hart squeezing between Simmons and Anstis.
Take from Harden.
First Suncorp super shot. Jo Harton. Down she goes, but the Giants are back within 3. She's up and about the captain. Big pressure on the West Coast Fever now. We know they have Sasha Glasgow, super shot specialist in position. And here she is, Glasgow. Up it goes. It falls to Fowler. She'll get another chance. Boos from the crowd. Glasgow doesn't get it to drop. But they will get the ball from the baseline. Do they give up on the super shot? Contact call against the Giants. They will just go up by 1. So they've managed to just hold them out for the moment, the Giants.
Smart play by the Fever. We know that Fowler can just get those little ones under the post.
Harton to Dwyer. Sophie Dwyer in position.
Oh, she's good. She's so exciting.
Well, you can see why Stacey Marinkovic wanted her in the Diamonds last year. Made a debut for the national side. She is a talent at just 21. Anstis. Ariang. Now it's the West Coast Fever being put into the treacle.
They know what to do on these plays. They have done it time and time again. They are specialists at working the ball down and almost taking up time as well.
Fowler still at 100% this season. So it's 3 the difference. They are slowly but surely clawing their way back. The Giants with 2 and a bit minutes to go. Well, it is all or nothing. It has to be a super shot to get it back to 1, doesn't it?
A split circle from the Fever, but...
Harton, here we go! It's back to 1. They were behind by 11 at three-quarter time. They are behind by 1 with just over 1.5 minutes remaining. What a match of netball this has been. Simmons to Fowler. They are playing it conservative. The difference is a Suncorp super shot. Fitzgerald saying go for 2. And we've got a HCF tactical timeout just to add to this drama. How good is this competition? Right here, you are watching it on Fox Netball. It does not get much better than this.
Okay. Everything we can to get around in the front position here, all right? So really active, staying off the body, fill those spaces, up over shots, monster rebounds. Tempo and time in attack, guys, all right? Keep the work rate high, doing what we're doing, all right? Let's go. Here we go. Your job's out the front, all right? Okay, guys, embrace this opportunity. Poise and composure, we know what we need to do, and let's cause some fucking chaos in defense. Let's go. Let's go! 3, 1, 2, 3! Let's go, Rudy.
Well, an animated Dan Ryan in the tactical timeout, thanks to HCF. He's saying that he wants Rudy Ellis, who has come on in that goalkeeper position, to stay in that front position, and rebounds are there. We have a look at Bruce. She's shifted to that goal defense position now. I suspect Rudy Ellis has come on to bring the arms, the long, rangy arms over the shot.
So big move from Dan Ryan. Ellis into the match. Giants need a Suncorp super shot to level it up here. Price to Parmenter. Remember, 11 was the difference at three-quarter time. Brandley. Price. Hay. And Harton, gee, they have come home like a steam train. A big, big sound from the west. And Rudy Ellis.
And that's what she's been brought on to do, get over the shot.
And she almost did it. A massive moment for Harton. She's always there when the Giants need someone to stand up in a big moment. The captain on return locks it up at 73 all. Simmons to Anstis. There's just seconds remaining. Dan Ryan wants him to hold on to it and go for one. That's what he's asking for. They can't turn it over.
This could be dangerous, Ben, not going to post.
Fowler gets there now. Has to go for it. They have less than 20 seconds, the Giants. Dwyer. It is deafening in here at Ken Rosewell Arena. Brandley. The Fever have it.
Anstis!
That's a massive play from Jess Anstis.
Wow!
And last season here in Sydney, it was the Giants by a point. This year, it's the defending premiers by a point. 74-73. What an absolute classic match of netball. Julie Fitzgerald and Dan Ryan shake hands. Their sides put on one of the games of the season. It'll go down as, and it's only round 2. What a fight back from the Giants, behind by 11, Kim, at three-quarter time.
And it was almost twice in this game that they've been down by that amount. And to pull it back like they did, but Fever just keeping composure. And you can see Dan Ryan is so happy with his team.
Can you believe it, Kim? Last season, I said it was a point the difference. It wasn't just a point. It was 74-73 to the Giants. This year, 74-73 to the Fever. You just cannot write these scripts. Dan Ryan is absolutely pumped. And the Giants, we know they've got a tough couple of road trips ahead of them, but gee, they can build on that. And the Fever, they just lay down that premiership marker. 2 single-point victories to start the season. And let's hear from them now with Stacey.
Thanks, Ben. I'm joined here by Alice Teague-Neal, ice in her veins, player of the match. How many times have you guys practiced scenarios like that at training?
Yeah, we've practiced them a few and definitely had a nice practice against Vixens last week, so we're pretty well apt in this in this scenario.
And then this is your second consecutive incredible performance out there on court. You continue to grow and grow in the wing attack position. What are you looking to get out of this season at wing attack?
Yeah, I think just making another solid season. I've only played one season at wing attack last year, so really trying to push that this year. It's a bit, second half, a bit of work to do, but hopefully next week a full oh my gosh, I can't even speak, I'm so tired. A full game performance.
Alice will let you off. You put in a shift of work and you got the result. Well done. Back to you.
Thanks, Stacey. Oh, it's really hard to try and sum that one up, Kim. That just shows you West Coast Fever, just their ability in those pressure moments, 2 weeks in a row to win a match of netball. 62-61 last week against the Vixens, 74-73 against the Giants this week.
And it's the composure and the confidence, and they've been building that from last year. If we take a look at the full-time highlights, Joe Harden being instrumental for the Giants, but the Fever just being able to hang on. I think they'll go back and have a good look at where they've, I guess let a few goals in and let the Giants back in with their momentum shifts. But my goodness, the fact that they're able to pull out games like that has to give them confidence for the rest of the season when they are in tight situations, they can continue to win.
And what about the Giants? Joe Harton going into that final quarter, 4 from 10 from the super shot, 3 from 3 in the final quarter, under pressure. Sophie Dwyer, 8 from 10 throughout this match. And you can hear the Palmy Army getting up and about. They must be so proud of the performance from these Giants. And West Coast Fever celebrating a win that ensures it's an unbeaten start to the season for them. Well, after the break, we are heading to Melbourne for the Melbourne Derby. Let's hope for the same kind of drama we saw last time these two sides met in the final round of the 2022 season. The centre pass is coming up at 4. The pre-show is after the break, right here on Fox Netball.